Alright, so I ran the turn. Not too much happens, which is pretty typical at the start of these games. He still didn't take to Harper Ferry. I don't know why. I really don't know why. But he's got like 6 leaders here, it looks like, plus a regular infantry unit and a cavalry unit. Plus, he's got this army here that's formed. I think it might already be ready and be able to move, or maybe fixed for a little while. I don't know. Either way, I expect this to be lost next turn. I really can't send any reinforcements. Um, I had thought about maybe railing this guy up here, but it would take the full 15 days, and I just don't see why he wouldn't come after this. So I'm just gonna let it go. I'm just gonna march this guy up to Manassas because I don't really want to use the rail points because it costs money and war supply to do those. Put him on passive here. So when you put them on green, supposedly they march and don't lose as much cohesion. So, put him there. I put this guy on retreat if engaged, because if he's engaged by anybody, he's just going to lose. So, might as well just get him out there. I got him, and I'm just going to keep him here. And maybe I'll move some troops up to Winchester, or maybe he won't take it by that time. That may be what he's doing, is trying to get all what he can here and just go ahead and try to take that in Winchester at the start, and then move some guys in here and kind of fortify this area here. It's so difficult for the South, and here, like, these two regions right here are not connected by rail, and that would make so much of a difference. Like, you have no idea how much that would make a difference if just these two cities were connected by rail. So it's hard to get up here. It's hard to maintain. It's hard to get reinforcements up there at any point of the game because you just don't have the rail there. So, I mean, and the Union does. Like, they have no problem getting things anywhere into any of these regions. And by the time they get down in this Shenandoah Valley and in this area, they can just rail them through here and go down through here. So it is what it is. Out here, just holding still. He's got some units here. It doesn't look like they're fixed. I would expect him to take this soon. If he doesn't, I'm going to send some cavalry over there and plunder it, get $35,000. Nothing else really happened. I got Magruder's force here, who's fixed in the region for another turn. I'm probably going to move him down to Suffolk. Down here, one of my cavalry units is back from Fort Sumter, so I'm just going to ride him up there. Tatnall's available. I'm redeploying him to Richmond so he can try to get that little fleet out of there because he has the extra blockade runner. Although I don't know if you have to be in the blockade box for this even to work. Who knows? But it says plus 35% to the evasion value of a naval stack under his command. Applies only if the stack is moving. So supposedly I should be able to evade combat getting out of there. And it's got a little squadron here. It's missing one. I'm moving it to Charleston because it's a bigger city, and I think if you're in bigger cities, you tend to get those replacements quicker. So I don't want to send them out there because I don't think you can get the replacements when you're actually out there. So there's that. New Orleans, I went ahead and made another brigade here. I'm going to start digging in. Because part of the strategy of this game is to hold on to New Orleans as long as I can. I'm moving all my gunboats and transports up to Memphis here. I sent 2 generals out west to replace Shelby, because usually I'd use them here, but as you know from last video, I'm moving them out to Texas, see if I can gain the upper hand there, and then move them back. So they'll be here. I know I get some units in this area at some point here soon. When I do, I'm going to try to take as many of these forts as I can and burn them. I'm even going to burn this one in the end because I can't hold two regions. And that way, they'll just be this town here and this small one here. So he'd have to come here and build a depot in between to gain supply. But if I can't get rid of these forts, I really want to get rid of these two. If I can get rid of these two too, that's great, but I doubt I'll be able to. The forces I get here are like militia and like mounted volunteers. They're not very great troops, so it's going to be hard just to get these two, believe me. My Rangers are up. Where is this? So they're ready to go, but of course each stack, like they're just made and they're kind of a little over half cohesion. I had toyed with the idea of just go ahead and sending them out and taking a fort and try to burn it. I'm not sure how it works because like sometimes like a fort will like rally a garrison and then there's no way they're going to take it. Like it's happened before. Like sometimes you'll just go for it and you'll just take it, no resistance. And sometimes they'll rally like a militia unit in there and then you really ain't going to take it, especially with just one stack of Rangers. So I want to say it's based off the force coming. So I want to make sure they're at full cohesion. I could be wrong about that. So somebody let me know in the comments if I'm wrong about that. Like if I should just send them out now and they take all. I'm going to try to take these four first with the 4 units. But somebody let me know if I should just do it on this turn or the next. But I'm going to wait till the next because I'm not sure about the cohesion thing. I made that build in Louisiana and I made another cavalry unit here. I was reading in the forums it's good to burn Tucson because, of course, we're playing for victory points, and if they take it, they're just going to get victory points every turn. So I want to burn it. Of course, I think they can build like a depot there or something, and then they can start getting victory points. But, you know, either way, it's better for me if this just goes. I don't think I can raise Arizona units, so I'm going to have to send a force over there. I'm sending a militia one now. When my cavalry is available, I might send it as well because it'll probably get there quicker, even though this guy's got a head start. I'm moving this militia over to burn this fort, and then I'll probably sit them here. I may go ahead and burn her, just wait and see what happens first. Shelby should be over here in about 2 turns. Then, of course, these 2 big brigades I made should be ready at that point. I'll probably wait one more turn after that. I might build a supply wagon, and then I'm going for this fort. I'm going to try to destroy it. Hopefully, he's not going to be in the field, and hopefully I can just take it. And that'll have me sitting pretty over here. Take this fort, burn it, burn this one, and then I can just have a small force here for whatever he's going to send down through here, which eventually he will. Because he gets a unit up here. He's got a few already. And he gets a pretty good commander up here somewhere as well. I think it's Canby. Other than that, there's not really much going on. Right now I'm kind of hurting on conscripts. I've got one draft going. It's in this region here. Now I did it in this region because this region really isn't fought over, and I don't really see any value in this region. I'm not sure if it has strategic command. I guess I could find that out. I forget which button tells me that. Let's see. Not that one. Okay, so it doesn't look like it has strategic value. So yeah, it's a perfect place to do it. I've got one more, but right now I can only put it in certain areas. Like I may go ahead and do one in Montgomery because that's, I mean, I don't think he's going to take Montgomery until maybe way later in the game. You can do it in Chattanooga. I don't want to do it there. Loyalty's already low there anyway. You can do it some places, Virginia, Charleston. I may go ahead and just do it in Montgomery, because I'm kind of hurting on troops right now, and I need to go ahead and build stuff. So I think I'm actually going to do that. Go ahead and put in Montgomery here. There we go. Hopefully I'll get some troops out of there. It does take 3 turns, and you got a 75% chance of it being successful. This one's on turn 2, and I think if it makes it to the next turn, it is successful. You just have to wait, but we'll see. Other than that, I don't see anything where it's showing he's done anything. So I'll send this over to him. He'll run the turn, and then he'll come back to me, and I'll do another recording. Thanks.
All right, welcome back, everybody. We are now in late May 1861. Got some scripted events here. Let's go through those real quick. All right, so we got the St. Louis Massacre. Loyal Missourians warned us of a secession plot to seize the depot at the St. Louis Armory, where large numbers of weapons and ammo are stored. Captain Lyon took the initiative to strike first and arrested the state militiamen. His inexperienced soldiers clashed with hostile civilians, and gunfire from both sides was heavy. Federal troops are now patrolling the streets to restore order. Right. That's in St. Louis. All right, got martial law in Maryland. The rioting in Baltimore and other events prompted a federal declaration of martial law to ensure the safety of the troops and the loyalty of the state government. So on, so on, so on. So let's see how we're looking there. We got, wow, so 75% loyalty to the Confederates. So as you can see, I've got Hapias going on right now, trying to bolster that loyalty. I will probably put, a cavalry troop, cavalry, since some of you guys even know the way I say it, into the town here to try and bolster, because again, if you look at policing power, right, so if I click this civilian guy here under various, he only has a 1 policing power, but if you take Cavalier, cavalry, and look at it there under various, police power 3 for him. I think it's because he's under the leadership of a general, because I want to say some of these other guys don't have that same. Yeah, he's got 2. He's also early cavalry. So depending on whether under leadership or not and what level of experience down here they have, that'll dictate their police power. But what the police power does is it increases the loyalty of a particular town, which drastically helps build up production for that area if the loyalty is above 50%. Also, if it falls below 50%, I want to say it doesn't produce anything. So right now I'm not getting anything from Baltimore or I'm getting very little in terms of money or other supply from the Baltimore area. We had 2 more. I don't know what happened to them. Oh, here we go. All right, Erickson's Folly. The Confederate decision to transform the captured frigate USS Merrimack into an ironclad ship drives the U.S. Navy to build a new type of warship to face a new threat. John Erickson's project is chosen among 17 others. The USS Monitor, quicker to build than its competitor, is described as a cheese box on a raft, consisting of a heavy round iron turret on the deck housing 2 large Dahlgren cannon. The armored deck is barely above the waterline. All right, and the last one here, North Carolina secedes from the Union. All right. So he is now fully connected down here in the south. If we take a look at the overall map here, if I can scroll a little bit further, I guess not. He now has, looks like all of the south here. All right. Kentucky is still in play, still neutral, but everything else has now chosen sides. Okay, let's go through here, see what he did as far as movements, if any. No battles. Doesn't look like he's done anything in particular this turn. We are mobilizing the Army of the North in Shenandoah Valley, which is up here. Under Patterson, he's just absolute trash. So that's what we're getting up here in the Shenandoah / West Virginia. Okay. So I did a little bit of an oopsie this turn here. So I went ahead and built all this stuff, and I just totally forgot to do my replacements. So I'm gonna have to do these next turn. Fortunately, the turn before this, I put a lot of resources into my replacement pool, so we should be okay. Even though I built all this, I'll show you kind of where I'm building that all out at and why. And then we're okay on artillery, so we should be at least good for a turn in terms of replacements, but I totally forgot about that when I was building. Okay, so here's kind of my strategy with building infantry for 1861. What I'm going to try and do is I'm going to try and build as many of these militia as possible. Reason being is that McClellan will be able to upgrade them to line infantry. Now, the downside to this is that it's going to take longer, right, for them to be fully effective on the front line, because it takes 2 turns to upgrade them to line infantry, and McClellan can only upgrade 2 elements a turn. So you're talking to get 2 elements fully upgraded to line infantry, that's 3 turns. And so that's or basically 3 turns, right? Because you won't be able to move them until turn 3. And that's only to have 2 line infantry, right? So if you get conscripts, then it's only 1 turn. And so it's twice as fast to get those conscripts up to line infantry and up to the front lines. However, interesting thing to note here. If you go to your build menu, let's just do Massachusetts. I noticed this here, which is interesting. Okay, so to build 2 conscript units, or 2 elements, it's 40 money, 20 conscripts, right? However, if you build 2 elements in New York, 1 line infantry and 1 conscript, it's the same price. See that? So this has got an overall strength slightly higher than conscripts, and it has a line infantry unit in it. I believe, right? This is line infantry. Yeah. So build these guys first, because they're going to cost the same amount of money as your conscripts, and then just rail them down to the front line. Same thing with like Delaware, right? So all these. And then notice this too here. So for two element conscripts, it costs you 40 and 20. This is why I'm mixing and matching my conscripts and my militia. One militia element is only 15 money, 7 conscripts. So that means is to build 2 militia that you'll ultimately upgrade to conscripts and then later line infantry only costs you 30 money and 14 conscripts. So the downside is these guys aren't going to be operational as quickly, but you are going to save 10 money and 7 conscripts every time you build, or actually 6 conscripts, right? So you're going to save 10 money and 6 conscripts every time you build 2 of these guys instead of the 2 conscripts. So just keep that in mind, both on the Union side and the Confederate side, that it is cheaper long term to build your militia and upgrade them to line infantry than to build conscripts and upgrade them to line infantry. Now, the reason I'm building some conscripts, though, is I'm going to need them a lot sooner, right? Because if he makes any sort of push on DC in the next few months, I'm not going to have the time to build a lot of militia, train them up, and then get them to the front lines, right? He's going to have moved on DC before I have a chance to do that. So what I'm trying to do is build some militia while also building these conscripts. And the reason I'm building conscripts is they're just a little bit cheaper than line infantry. So I can have more. So I'm looking for volume right now over quantity. But that's why I'm building some conscripts as well, even though it is cheaper to do the militia. So I'll have these guys in the front line sooner rather than later. So what I did as far as builds, I built a few more infantry over here in New York, just because by the time McClellan is over here, these guys should have been built, and I'll be able to rail them down, so I won't need them down there with McClellan right away. I stuck Lion in, let's see here where I stick them. Up here, or Banks rather, sorry, not Lion. Inside Philadelphia, we have, plenty of loyalty, 85%, so I'm not worried about the conscripts. And then now what this means is we're going to get these extra new conscripts every turn. Why is that important? Well, look at our money versus our conscripts, right? We're going to be hurting on bodies for a while, but we're good on money. I may need to pull the trigger on one of these at some point. Probably not going to raise taxes because that's going to hurt my morale, but I may have to print some money. I don't like doing the inflation thing. I think right now we're at negative 1%. Yeah, but I probably are going to want to build some ironworks or some armories once those are available, and that's going to eat up a lot of my money. So maybe for the first year, I might do this, although for the most part I won't be printing money because I'm not going to be dealing with that inflation hit. But we'll see where we're at with that going forward. Before I get into the movements here, as you can see, we just got these guys here, just east of Clark's, West Virginia. He does have a 137 force. I only have 73, with basically 2 militia elements, so not really much in the way of defending myself here if he decides to attack, although I do have a mountain, right? So, and he has to do river crossing, so you'd have to throw a lot at that. I am sending this cavalry over here just to get this fully 100% on military control, and I may also move down here, right, just to kind of try and actually, let me see if I can do that. No, let's just stick with what I was doing. Just get 100% military control here. Alright. Now, one thing you can do, so you do get this gunboat unlocked here this turn. I'm keeping him here for now, and here's why. This place is a major hub. Pittsburgh is a size 7 city, size 5 harbor, 4 depot. If he decides to this year, before the winter, try and move up this river and take that, that'll be a pretty significant hit to my economy short term, and it'll boost his. So what I want to do is leave this ship here. I can always park him right here and make it a little bit more difficult for him to cross this river if he comes from this side. Now, granted, if he comes from this side, I'm not going to be able to really do much about it. But if he jumps across here and keeps moving up, maybe I can stick him here to stop him. Otherwise, what you can do, which I strongly considered, is sending him over to Cairo, over here, and then plunk him right above here. So I'm going to have 4 of these guys, which is going to make it almost impossible for him to cross into Cairo from here. He can still go up and around, but if I had a gunboat up here, it would make it a little bit harder. I'm not going to do that yet. I just want to see what he's going to do in West Virginia, and then maybe I will move my gunboats down here soon thereafter. Alright, so I am going to attack Harper's Ferry here. So far he has 1 militia. I don't know if he's bringing somebody up, though. I don't know if it's just a general or if he's bringing up other troops. Here's what I have. I've got my elite Washington Brigade of 2 elements under the lead of, what's this guy's name? McCall. And then I have 1 cavalry element under the lead of Schultz. And then I have my Marines, who I can't connect under anybody because you need at least 2 elements, unless you're cavalry, to be led by a general, I believe, right? Yeah. So I'm going to rail over here, but then I also have these guys trying to join up with Hamilton before he crosses the river. This is going to take 11 days, so let's hope I don't miss my activation roll on this. Our command control, though, is really good. We're below the threshold, so we should be okay, assuming the weather's okay. Clear weather, but it is muddy over here. So we'll see what happens with that. Alright, jumping over here, in the middle here, over at St. Louis and, oops, sorry, St. Louis and Cairo. So here's what I'm doing. I'm building artillery and pack train to put a redoubt here in St. Louis. I'm building artillery, pack train to put a redoubt down in Cairo. I'm then building 1 additional pack train. I'm going to need them right over in the west. I'm going to need a lot of pack trains. I'm just going to slowly build those up. And then I also built another 6-pounder just for defense of St. Louis until I can get that redoubt built. Then as far as disposition is concerned, here's the troops that we have that are being built up. We got Lion here. And then I think this one's just kind of extra right here, I think. Yeah. And then our fleet that's being built. Now, one thing I wish I had done, I kind of activated it before I thought about it. I built this 6-pounder up here in Kansas because this is really kind of my choke point in the far west. If I can't hold these forts, I want at a minimum be able to hold from Shawnee down, or rather Shawnee up and Shawnee east. And then I can always counterattack later. Although by then it'll be too late because he will have burned all these forts. These forts are really good for supply if you want to work your way down kind of the backside of Missouri. If you lose these forts, then the only way into Missouri is really from St. Louis down the rail line into Springfield. So it sucks. That being said, it's very difficult against an aggressive Confederate player early in the game as the Union to hold these forts because he just has better generals, more troops, more mobility, so forth, so on. So at a minimum, I want to hold from Kansas east and north, and then obviously hold these forts here because these forts provide supply to Colorado, and he's going to probably try and destroy these as well. So just keeping that in mind, right? That being said, I wish I had built a horse artillery instead of the 6-pounder. The horse artillery is going to have more mobility. It's not going to slow my troops down as much, and it has the same punch as 6-pounders. But yeah, anyways, too late for that. I think what I'm going to do with these guys, if not right away, a little bit later in the game, I might be using these guys just to kind of hold these forts that I have all over here for now, short term, and then kind of harass him. But ultimately what I'm going to do is I'm going to take these rangers that you can build as the Union, and I'm going to plunk them down here. Probably down in the Keys. And what I'm going to use them for is to go up into the underbelly here, destroy depots, support operations along the East Coast, and so forth. So that's what I'm going to do with my Rangers. I think that'd be kind of a fun way to use them too. So, all right. And then in Cairo, this is all we have at the moment, but obviously we're going to try and build it up as quick as possible, including a redoubt, like I showed you up here in St. Louis. And then I'm going to have 4 of these guys here so we can't jump across at that area. All right, jumping down into the blue water situation. I attached him to my merchant fleet for now, and then what will happen is ultimately I will have probably 3 or 4 ships connected to this merchant fleet, just providing defense. I don't know if I need to connect him or not. It's a good question. I don't know if they provide defense when you're connected to this merchant fleet on green. I'll have to look that up. What's it say here? Yeah, I don't know. I'll have to look into that. I don't know if that's the best way to do that there with those. I may look at that just before I run the turn. And then we got these guys here, and then I want that transport down here with these merchant ships, but for now we'll just keep him there because he's locked. Send him back to get that replacement ship for right there, and then we've got him for the I guess technically it's brown. Again, it's brown water blockade, blockading Richmond with these guys. All right, I think that's everything that we need to go over this turn. Nothing else going on, no events. As you can see, here's my overall building. A lot of the artillery is in the west. I'm going to pivot back over to the east next turn in terms of builds. We've got the monitor that's being built here. I did build a headquarters in DC this turn. That's one thing I forgot to mention. Always build these guys as soon as you get them. These headquarter guys, they're just absolutely worth their money. And that's it. All right. I think there's anything else to show you. Okay. I'm going to pause the video right quick, look at that situation down here, see if this makes sense. And then once I sort that out, I'll come back and we'll run the turn. Okay, so I couldn't really find a clear answer, so we're just going to roll with green for now, just because I don't have ships to bring in here to replace these guys. So what ends up happening when they're on green, they're just going to last longer. Their cohesion won't go down as quickly. If you have them on aggressive stance, so for example, like this, their cohesion is going to go down quicker, and I'll have to pull them out and send them back to port to resupply. And right now I don't have the ships to do that. So for the short term, let's go green. Probably what I'll do long term though is I'll pull them out, have them on orange within the shipping lane. That way, if there is any engagement by one of his fleet attacking my merchant ships, hopefully these guys will engage first and deal with that. and protect the shipping lanes. All right, let's run the turn and see how this goes up here. This is late March, and the way we're doing this is Josh and I are both doing 2 turns at a time. So I'm doing this turn, running it, and then I'm going to do 1 more turn. What's going on over here? Man, he's already moving up on my forts, huh? Oh, he's moving back, okay. Sweet! Alright, so we made our activation roll. We were able to get across the river within the 15 days, and then we won that battle. Heck yeah. Once you take Harper's Ferry as a union, it can be very difficult for the Confederates to get it back. So this is good. He's still in here though. Alright, we're gonna obviously, yeah, pretty much I think blue-red is the way to go. Alright, so that's good. No, I don't want him there. I want to have, yeah. Okay, so let's see here. We've got telegraph lines built, which means I can build more, theoretically, right? No, okay. Can't build any more at the moment. Our morale is 86. Looks like it went up 1. Figure out why. Shipping lanes brought in 2,700 points, which I don't know what that translates into money. Does it tell us money-wise here? 18 money from merchant ships. Yeah. Okay. Let's go through here. 3 replacements to a reserve. Shipping lane brought in 18 money, 32 war supply. There are 2 raiders within our shipping lanes at the moment. Won the battle at Harper's Ferry. We didn't get any morale from that, which is understandable because they only had like 300 troops. Captured a few things, but nothing major. Some Ellsworth guy died. Got new industrial options. Got a couple new generals, General Mansfield, and then U.S. forces start to organize near the border. Okay, so let's go through the events here real quick. Okay, so we can build ironworks, armories. So we do that. Okay. And we've got Mansfield, and then we're gonna. Where's this at? So that's a new force right there. Stone. I'll probably send him up to Harper's Ferry as well, because I can see him trying to go after this with Johnson's force once he's unlocked, whenever that is. But we've got hills here, so if we can really dig in and put some artillery and such in here, we'll be in good shape. These guys don't have any artillery though. It's annoying. How about my artillery up here? Is it done? Not done yet. I really need artillery here for defense. Okay, well, I'm going to dig through here, see if we can find artillery, make my movements. We'll be back to go through our turns. I think he's got artillery. He does. Probably send that over there. Send that 12-pounder to Harper's Ferry. I can rail it too. It's got military control of those. Okay. Shoot. How long will it take me to get that there? Oh, okay. Why can't I rail on that? It's weird. Oh, I guess because I have 25 military control. That's right. You only need 25% for the rail line. Gotcha. Okay, so let me figure this out, and we'll go from there.